Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, it's my third stream. Man, I am pissed off. I couldn't believe. Not so much because of what Fed Powell said, but because of this scumbag, Kevin O'Leary. I can't believe that he's basically lying in front of everyone. Lying in front of the Senate. Lying in front of everyone. Trying to cover his own ass. And trying to deflect by blaming Binance, right? So let's take a look at what he said today. Let's talk about how he's the greatest scumbag in crypto right now, possibly in the country, right? And let's talk about how to move forward from this. So let's get started, guys. Welcome. In case you have missed it, I'm going to play this clip for you guys. Now, I'm sure he said other stuff, okay? And maybe he said other good stuff. But this one section right here where he was asked about what he thinks happened to FTX was just, you can't even describe it. It just makes me angry. When someone sent me this clip today, like mid-afternoon, I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? Is he this delusional, or is he just a liar at this point? Right? I can't see how saying what he said helps at all. It doesn't help his image. Doesn't help his businesses, his brands. He is tarnished. I'm pretty sure every single business venture that Kevin is involved with right now is either broken or those companies are looking to sever ties with him as we speak. And, you know, doing what he did today does not help. All it does is cause more fear. He thinks that by deflecting somehow it's going to make things okay. No, it's just causing more fear. And even though he sits there or stands there saying, you know what, the crypto industry is going to get better and you know, we're going to get past this and that. No, not if you're spreading damn lies around, okay? So, all right, let's just play this. This is about 38 seconds. You guys could listen to yourself in case you didn't listen and you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Let's take a look.
Why do you believe FTX failed?
I have an opinion. I don't have the records. Here it is. These two behemoths that own the unregulated market together and grew these incredible businesses in terms of growth were at war with each other. And one put the other out of business intentionally. Now, maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's nothing wrong with love and war. But Binance is a massive, unregulated global monopoly now. They put FTX out of business.
Why do you believe?
That was actually the short version. The longer version, I actually probably played a wrong version for you guys. But the longer version is where he puts direct blame on Binance. He was asked about, man, I should have found the other clip to play for you guys. But the other clip basically says, I talked to SBF. I didn't know where the money went. So I was asking him where he put the money. And then he claims that he had to buy back the tokens from Binance because they couldn't get regulated anywhere. And because of that, that's how he lost all his money, his $3 billion, right? Then he says what he just said here, right? Basically, he was trying to put all the blame on CZ and Binance for somehow, right, bullying, like basically he was bullying SBF, bullying FTX, right, into almost like forcing them, right, to overpay, which it didn't even make sense. It wasn't even overpaying. It was almost like they were blackmailing them or something. And poor old SBF had to pay up, right, and that's what caused the collapse. That's not what happened at all. Not one bit. And somehow Kevin O'Leary is saying, this is my opinion. This is what happened. This is why FTX failed. SBF is a fine guy. He did nothing wrong at all. And somehow Kevin O'Leary ignored the fact that just yesterday, the South District of New York, okay, the CFTC, SEC have all charged SBF with major counts of fraud. Conspiracy fraud, securities fraud, money laundering fraud, all this, 8 counts to be exact. Somehow Kevin O'Leary doesn't recognize it. They must all be fake, right? None of that matters. It must be CZ and Binance's fault. So none of this facts that has come out over the last week about transferring customer funds to Alameda, taking out large loans, buying hundreds of millions of real estate with customer assets. Yeah, no, it wasn't any of those things. No, well, not one bit. What about the fact that they were using QuickBooks or they didn't encrypt their private keys? And that is why FTX got hacked, right? Maybe some of these things Kevin heard, but no, none of these things mattered, right? None of them mattered. What about the fact that SBF's one of his top guys alerted regulators of misuse of customer funds? And this is now coming out. What about that? No, that's not the reason. None of these things are the reason. The reason why SBF and FTX went down is because they got bullied by the bigger players, CZ and Binance. And then I like how the fact that he keeps saying it's unregulated, right? Unregulated, and they are a monopoly now, as if he himself doesn't own the exchange. He has WonderFi in Canada, right? He's trying to make it seem like there's only one exchange out on the planet Earth, and that is Binance. What about his own exchange, WonderFi? Probably getting shut down as we speak. What about Coinbase? Coinbase still exists. What about Kraken and Gemini? And what about the others overseas? Huobi, right? Bitfinex, BitMEX, right? Even though they're a big dog, they're not the sole player. Again, trying to put blame, trying to deflect away from the fact that SBF is a criminal and he's going to go to jail for a very long time. And Kevin O'Leary was involved, but somehow he refuses to hear the facts, and his only defense is, well, they were being bullied, and that's the reason why they don't have the money. They had to use $3 billion to pay out Binance, but they even mentioned, where did that $3 billion come from? Even if that happened, which it didn't, where did the money come from? Probably from the customers. So they were probably going to use customer assets anyways to buy back the FTT tokens, which ended up not happening anyways, right? So this whole thing got me so mad when I heard about it, right? Someone just need to throw this guy in jail at this point, right? It's like, I don't see how you could blatantly lie in front of the Senate today and make these bold claims. At the very least, someone needs to stop inviting him. He should not be testifying at all. Like, I don't even know why he's there. He's not giving any straight facts and just causing more FUD and confusion and you know, it's not helping anything. Right? So that's my opinion. I think this guy is the biggest scumbag in crypto right now. You know, he has definitely lied before. Back in 2017, Kevin O'Leary went on air, debated Pomp, and said, you know, Bitcoin's a nothing burger. This whole thing is a big Ponzi. It's all going to crash. And just like all these other guys in 2021, they just all jumped on the bandwagon, right? And somehow Kevin O'Leary is like cheered as one of the big guys, right? Like, because of his role as Shark Tank, you know, we have to like just trust what this guy does. He comes into crypto space, right? Makes a lot of big moves, starts doing a lot of social media, right? And now somehow people just trust him being he's like a crypto guru, right? Now we see the true face of Kevin O'Leary. He's just a scumbag. Yeah. All right. So I want to lead off with that. Okay. You guys could tell I'm pretty pissed at this guy. And you know what? He should never, ever, ever, ever be allowed to be, first of all, testifying at anything that was related to crypto other than his own involvement in FTX, which I'm sure that will be coming up and will be questioned. But also, you know, I just don't get it. I just don't get it at this point. No crypto project going forward should ever, ever, ever be involved with Kevin O'Leary, right? I'm not even sure this guy, he's so toxic at this point. I'm not even sure he could get any business deals going forward. I'm not even sure he's going to appear on Shark Tank next year. So, like, it's just, again, okay, just bad. Bad all around, okay? Now, what else came out of today's hearing? Not a whole lot. A lot of debate, right? People blaming crypto all over the place. But they don't have any immediate answers. They don't know what to do, right? A lot of people talking, a lot of testimonies. No one really knows what's going on, right? There's no clear path. But this certainly isn't it. We have Miss Pocahontas now trying to introduce a bill that requires self-custody wallets to do KYC. So those of you guys that have a ledger or a Treasure or a Trust wallet, right? You're going to have to do KYC according to Pocahontas. So, I mean, this is what's coming, because when you have, like, people that don't understand and they're just trying to fearmonger and take advantage of the situation, this is what's going to happen, right? And Kevin O'Leary is adding to this. So that's what's happening, right? This, if passed, which I don't think it will, right? But if passed, is absolute disaster. Who's going to do the KYC? Does that mean before you could buy a Ledger wallet, they're going to ask you for your information, and then they somehow have to force you to register your address with them? Like, how would it even work, right? I don't even know how it's going to work. Even if they tried, just don't submit your information. How would they know, right? So, I mean, stuff like this is being, I don't know, talked about now, right? But this is the only person that has any clue, right, about what's going on. And this is what I've been saying. Don't let the bad make you think it's a reflection of the entire space. It's not. FTX is not a reflection of all exchanges out there. SBF is not a reflection of all exchange leaders out there, right? Do Kwon is not a reflection. Terra is not a reflection of all crypto projects out there, right? So let's take a listen to this.
We're conflating topics today. Digital assets are not on trial. Fraud and organizations are on trial. So let's separate digital assets from corrupt organizations.
That's right.
FTX, as I've been saying for the last few weeks, is good old-fashioned fraud.
Yes.
And what they did is separate from digital assets.
Yes.
Now, we've all heard that FTX lent its executives hundreds of millions of dollars in commingled customer funds for personal use.
Yes.
And customers who tried to wire money to FTX were instead given Alameda's routing number. That is fraud. That's fraud whether it's conducted in US dollars or euros or digital assets. That is fraud.
That's right. SBF, Caroline, Gary, Nishad, they all committed fraud. Okay? But that doesn't mean everyone else in the space is committing fraud. FTX itself committed fraud. Alameda committed fraud. Right? But that doesn't mean everyone else is committing fraud. That's the thing. So I'm glad someone understands. Right? Not like Miss Pocahontas here that thinks that, hey, we just need to lock down everyone and lock down everything and somehow that's going to solve all of our problems. No, it's not. Right? Maybe Gary Gensler needs to do a better job instead of trying to attack Ethereum, he should have been investigating FTX, which he had numerous one-on-ones with SBF and FTX, right? Maybe Gary should be looking at that, or he should have looked at that instead of trying to attack everyone else in this space. I don't know. This whole thing got me really riled up. This Kevin O'Leary guy. Damn liar, damn scumbag, and you know what? I don't know what else to say about this guy. All right. We do have some good news, though. Okay? But despite all the bad, we have some good news. The CFTC is prosecuting FTX at this point, too. Okay? They, along with Gary, FCC, and New York, and the Justice Department, I mean, everyone is charging them. But with their declaration today, okay, in their court filing, they did say now they recognize, again, Ethereum is a commodity. Recently, the CFTC chair did some kind of private event at Princeton and said he believes only Bitcoin is commodity. But in this filing, in this court filing today, okay, they stated that Bitcoin, Ether, and Tether and others, I don't know what, they could have just used something besides Tether, but they did. But they recognize Ethereum being a commodity once again, right? So this is positive. This is really positive. The last straw for Gary against Ripple, right? His last line of defense, I believe, is try to declare Ethereum a security. But I don't think it's that simple, because maybe CFTC is pushing back and say, hey, you guys are overstepping. They are not a security. You guys deemed them as a commodity, so they are ours. So that possibly is what's going on. Otherwise, maybe SEC would have declared that already. I don't know. But this is positive news. Okay, we'll take it. This is positive news. So we'll see. We'll see if the CFTC chair changes his mind. Maybe he made a mistake, but you know what? We do need some clarity on this, okay? We can't have Gary just calling everything out as a security and making whatever declarations he wants without any pushback, right? So that's why we want Ripple to win the case, and that's why we want CFTC to fight them too. We need some pushback. We can't have Gary run around as if he's like the king of declaring securities. I don't even know. I don't even know what's a good analogy for that. All right. What else is there? I guess this is good. Metamask is allowing users to purchase Ethereum via PayPal. It sounds good, but it's not, because no one should be using PayPal. PayPal still implemented that rule where if they think you're doing something naughty, which includes misinformation, they will charge you $2,500 per account of it, okay? At their discretion. It's not like they're getting a court to rule. They will rule it. If they think you're saying something that they don't like, right, what's considered misinformation, they can fine you $2,500. They just somehow have the right to do so, right? So I don't think anyone should be using PayPal ever again, unless you're absolutely necessary that you need to do it. But otherwise, this would have been good news. I mean, that you could buy directly on Metamask, right? But that's not the case. So it's kind of good news and bad news. I would still advise no one to use PayPal going forward. Okay, here's good news. Trust Wallet, one of the best self-custody mobile wallets out there, right? They do already have swap, but they're integrating with ThorChain now, because ThorChain is a whole chain about swaps. So now you can swap very easily between Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, BUSD, and others right within the app. That's awesome. So that is good news. I know a lot of you guys use Trust Wallet. I do too. So this is really good. And also for you Cardano fans, they have also enabled so that you could stake Cardano directly from Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet does allow you to stake many crypto right now directly within, like Solana and Polygon and a few others, BNB. But now you could stake Cardano directly within. I know most of you guys are staking from Ledger already, which is absolutely fine. But in case you haven't and you have Cardano on Trust Wallet, you can now stake within there too. So this is also pretty positive. Innovation that's happening right in front of our eyes with self-custody wallets, right? So pretty good. Pretty good. What else is good today? 55% of crypto developers say bear market has increased their desire to build. That's good. No one's really going away, even though we're down, we're not out. So many in the space are still building, not just buying and holding, but many people are still developing. And that's what we want. That's what we want. But of course, the buying and holding is important, and that is still increasing. Total supply held by long-term holders, over 72% now. 72% of the circulating supply is being held by long-term holders, and that number only continues to go up, 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 up. That's positive. Bitcoin off the exchanges, 88% of Bitcoin supply is now off exchanges into like ledgers and treasures and other self-custody or cold wallets, let's just say, right? That is also very, very positive. The less supply there is, the better off we are. And the more likely that price is going to go up, right? So these are all good things. Good things. Now, the only other thing I got to comment on is, well, Bitcoin is still around 17.7, right? It was a little bit higher this morning. Obviously, I think a lot of you guys know. Oh boy, look at this. Well, I'll get to that in a little bit. But the Fed, raised their Fed fund rate by 50 basis points, which was expected, right? Powell again had this dovish, hawkish tone. It's confusing. You have to really study him. And since I've done so many of these press conferences, I kind of know what he's all about. He wants to be dovish, okay? That's for sure. That's why the rates is 50 basis point, not 75 basis point, the rate hike today, right? But he doesn't want to come off like, oh, our job is done. He still wants to have a hawkish tone, making sure that people know that he's still working at decreasing inflation. Right? So he wants people to know that. And they're not going to cut rates anytime soon. They're not going to stop rates anytime soon. But they don't want to overreach. They don't want to go too far. So they're going to start being more dovish. But, throughout the question, the Q&A, you kind of get a mixed signal of both, right? So it's kind of hard to read that. But I know what Powell's all about. I know what he's about, right? He knows. He knows inflation starting to taper. He could start cutting back. He doesn't want to go too far, yet he wants to maintain that tone that he's still doing something. The number one thing he's looking at is the job force. Job force still being very strong. Wages are still high, right? That is what the number one thing he wants to see to go down, which I don't think we actually want to see those things go down, right? Why would you want to see the labor force get weaker? Why do you want to see unemployment go up? You want to see a healthy environment where people have jobs and they're not laid off, right? So that's the other thing that happened. So I think this is good news, except a lot of people are viewing it as bad news. I know what's this about. This is breaking news right here. Tesla, Elon Musk sold 22 million more shares, around 3.6 billion. This could explain why Tesla has been so weak and just keeps going down and down and down and down. And April 28th, he said no further Tesla sales planned. Why did he sell? No clue. No clue. It didn't say. Doesn't say. Probably has to do something with Twitter. Everything right now, what he's doing has something to do with Twitter. So I don't know. I don't know what it's for. Anyways. All right, guys. Let's do some Q&A. Gary's not Oprah. He doesn't get to say, your security, everyone's security. That's pretty funny. Does anyone watch Oprah these days? Does she even have a show anymore? I'm not even sure. Rich saw Kevin as a new ally to crypto. So disappointed. I think many people did. I mean, even me. I'm like, well, we got this big hotshot investor that seems to know what he's doing, made a lot of money, right? If he's coming into crypto, must be, can't be bad, right? Must be good. But that's not the case. He's showing his true colors right now. He got caught. He did something that he wasn't supposed to, but he continues to defend, and now so desperate, he's trying to deflect and trying to blame others. And you can't forgive him for that. You just can't. Jan says, why do people trust Kevin O'Leary? He defrauded Mattel, cooked the books to make it appear his company was worth more than it was worth. I didn't know about that. Did he really? I'm going to have to look that up. Let's see here. Just converted half my ETH to get my third BTC. Now feeling the ETH FOMO. 50-50 ratio seems too risky to me now. Well, I would say congratulations. Getting 3 BTC is pretty darn good. But I would say this is pretty bullish for Ethereum. Not that the previous declaration was somehow really negative because it didn't really cause Ethereum to go down. I think most people missed it. But I think this is the right call. SEC already declared them a commodity. That means CFTC has full jurisdiction, and they're sticking with it. That it is a commodity, right? So this takes power away from Gary. Randy says, Kevin O'Leary is right. SBF, Bernie, Enron are all fine. It's the people who uncovered what they were doing are the ones to blame. That's right. That's right. I see what you did there, and I agree. DCA is the way. I live in Ontario. Wait, is today DCA day? Oh, I totally forgot. Today's Wednesday. All right, DCA. Let me pull it up here. Hey, a little better. 49% today. It would have been even better because we were at 18.4 this morning, right? But, you know, people got scared of the Fed once again. I don't know why they're afraid of Powell. It's really predictable what he's going to do. I mean, quite predictable. And I know exactly what he's doing. But I don't know. Somehow people are still scared of it. Anyways, what to buy today? 24 hours, Solana's up. Surprisingly. Solana's up a little bit. Everything else started falling. But you know, all the ones I like are I think I could I don't know. If there was a Kevin O'Leary coin, I would short it. I was shorted to hell. Let's see. Let's sort this. 7 day. I still don't know why Ton Coin is so hot. Ton Coin. I know what they're about. I don't know why it's so hot. Maybe they're just being pumped. But let's go in reverse here. Biggest losers of this week. Chili's. Quite surprised they're still so weak because the World Cup. Dogecoin, very weak. I don't know. Whatever Elon's doing, you know, is not working right now. Actually, for this week, not that many were Not that many down. Mostly even or even up. So the ones that are down, yeah, let me DCA into Terra this week. No, I'm just kidding. No, that was a joke. That was a joke. Cosmos VeChain. You know, tomorrow we could see a ruling on XRP. You know what? I'm going to do the unthinkable here. I'm going to load up on XRP. What the hell? I have some XRP over here. So I'll load up a little bit on XRP. And then I'll do... I don't know. With all the Binance FUD, probably add a little more BNB and add some Cardano. I'll do a three-way split. BNB, Cardano, and XRP. I think that's a good combination. So it'll be $100, so $33 into each one. .124. All right, and then Cardano. 105. And then where's XRP? Wait, that's not right. 86.6. All right. So this week, XRP, I did unthinkable, and then Cardano and BNB. I think that's good for this week. BNB, so much FUD around Binance. I think it's all nonsense. Cardano, always a good choice. Now they have more staking options, even on Trust Wallet. That's good. And XRP, just in case, maybe tomorrow we'll hear something. It was rumored that tomorrow there's going to be some kind of settlement, so we'll see. But every Wednesday night, more DCA until this turns green. I'm going to prove it to you guys. All right. Let's see here. What else I miss? Scooby-Doo. Which documentary did you list? I don't know which. Is it on Netflix or something? Aptos. Someone's asking about Aptos. No. How did SBF and Golem fool so many people? No accounting, QuickBooks. I don't know. Sometimes you just don't know, you know? You see a project that's so big, so successful, you get fooled, right? You think, well, if Tom Brady is talking about and doing commercials at SBF, and now they own stadium rights, you just kind of figure they kind of figured it out, right? Sometimes some of these companies fake it until they make it, right? And it just seemed like FTX made it until they didn't. It just seems like everyone that leverages loses, right? All these companies that went under, why did they lose? They leveraged. They leveraged more than what they had. This is why it's important not to leverage. Because if you don't leverage and you make a bad trade, well, okay, you're down, unrealized loss, but you still have it. You leverage, it's gone, and it's just gone, right? And a lot of these companies, once they do that, they can't repay what's gone. That's the problem. So, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people were fooled by FTX, but now we know what's really happening, except one guy who's pretending like he doesn't know what's happening, pretending like somehow the company that brought them down, that brought all this to light, is now the villain. And poor old SBF and FTX, they were just trying to survive, and they were bullied by the big old bad Binance. And they did nothing wrong, right? That's the story that this guy is painting. No one's believing him. No one. I don't think anyone even in the Senate believes him. Solana getting some momentum, just a little bit. I don't know about that much. Murray, I agree with you. Appreciate it. Corey says, I want to give you a foot rub. I appreciate that. I guess. Honestly, you know, in the long run, it doesn't matter what guys like Kevin O'Leary says or thinks. Okay, he's a newcomer. He's not someone that's been in his space. He's a bandwagon hopper. Okay, he right now literally is destroying his own reputation. He's killing all of his deals. He's killing his brand completely. And hopefully he never recovers. Okay? I'm generally not like this, but because of what he's doing right now is unforgivable. It's too far. It's too far. And I'm pretty sure he's ruining his any business deals that he's working on, any business he's involved with are distancing themselves away, right? But this whole thing just got me really, really angry. Just fess up, right? And say, hey, I got fooled, even though I was a spokesperson, I was paid, I was an investor. I got fooled. I had no idea this guy could be capable of these things. Okay. Move on. Admit it. But don't try to pretend like you didn't know or you don't know, right? And somehow that SBF is still innocent and that you would still invest in the guy again. What do you think about One Earth? I have no idea what project that is. No idea. No idea. I don't know. Unless SBF has something on him. Maybe SBF has something on him. Maybe he was partaking in those sex parties they were having. I don't know, right? It must be damning stuff. ZZZ. Well, welcome. Michael Saylor. If you're the real Michael Saylor, welcome. What's your response to Paul's answers? Delta, you have to watch my earlier video, which I kind of gave my complete thoughts. But basically he said there's three things he's looking at. Price of goods and services, price of homes, and wages and labor. Those are the three things he's looking at. And two of them are going down. One is not. So I kind of disagree with that. I think if the other two goes down significantly enough, you don't need the labor market to get weak. You don't need business to lay people off. You don't need unemployment to go up. But that's what he's looking for. One of the huge things he's looking for. And I don't agree with that. Propland looks to be the best real estate blockchain project I've seen. I'm pretty sure I've seen that project. Oh, I was thinking about Proppy. I don't know about what you're looking at. Propland. Proppy is one where you could do you could buy fractional shares of real estate. I just think that's a nightmare from a contract perspective, ownership perspective. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff to worry about. I don't trust that. Corey, it's usually in. Hold on there. Well, Ada supposedly just got added, so maybe you got to upgrade your app or something. So I didn't upgrade mine, but let me see here. Yeah, I'll play around with it, but you usually stay within the coin, right? Like after you deposit a coin, then you see the button, send, receive, stake. So this was just announced, so I don't know if I mean, you should be able to do it. I think you just had to update it. Odds Biden pardons SBF? No chance. Unless he doesn't run for president again. Unless he has no ambitions to run a second term. Maybe that is the case, because half the time I don't think he knows where he's at or what he's doing. But still, I don't think he would do it. Thoughts on Rune Chain? Well, I just talked about a little bit. They're a project that's all about DeFi, staking, liquidity pools. So the whole chain is based on that. They're L1, but they have all these liquidity pools for swaps and stuff. So it seems okay. Is Optimum a good hold? Top 7 TVL. Anytime TVL is high, I would say yes. Because whenever you have dApps that's on top being utilized, right, that's always a good thing. So I would say yes. All right, guys. I'll let you go. Overall, don't believe a word that Mr. Not Wonderful said today. He's absolute denial. He's delusional. I think he's a liar, and he's a scumbag. So don't listen to him. He's trying deflecting. No idea why. SBF, FTX, definitely, they were cancers, right? They were cancers. They did a lot of bad. SBF committed a lot of fraud. Okay, there's no doubt about it. And the fact that Mr. Not Wonderful, again, tried to spin this whole thing onto Binance is despicable. It's unforgivable. All right. So, stay strong, my friends. Stay strong, my friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. And don't leave until you watch this.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.